Hi, my name is Bubba Epstein. I'm also known as Dr. Neon. I used to be a biker kind of dude, but the biking thing is long over. So I've traveled all over the world. I've owned a restaurant. We're going to start with this Passover. I'm having some friends over for Passover. This is my new studio here. We're going to start with gefilte fish. Now, people don't usually, they say they're gefilte fish, Gentile fish. Most people don't like it. Manischewitz makes it. It looks like it's cooked in phlegm. We're going to follow a gefilte fish recipe that's a little different. It'll be more like when you go to a sushi bar and he serves you one of those nice little fish croquets. I've prepared some boiling water with some salmon skin and fish stock, tilapia. We're using salmon, tilapia, and beautiful whitefish. We've got our stock going here. And it's simple. We're going to fish, 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 fish. We got some beautiful fish. Nice white fish. Right. So I've added 1/3 cup of matzah meal. I'm going to pound it by hand. It'll probably be better. I like my gefilte fish tough. Some, where they're chewy and fluffy and all the same. Where you can tell that it's fish, not that processed stuff that came. This is something I prepped. This was carrots and fish and some beets for sweetness and onions. We're going to mix that in. And we mixed our olive oil. We got 4 eggs to go in there. Remember, if you break an egg flat, you'll never get an eggshell in your stuff. Never. It's when you hit it on an edge that you get. So we're going to mash this all up until it's a nice mix. Add a little sugar to it, some salt and pepper. Then we're going to make croquets and we're going to boil it. And as you mix it, you add a little more matzah meal until it becomes a nice paste. Like I said, this is a Russian, Polish, Latvian, Lithuanian dish, where they have this kind of fish and, stuff. Not particularly Jewish, just the Ashkenazi brought this when they came over the first time. The German Jews came first. The Sephardic Jews were first, and then the Ashkenazi came around the time of the pogroms in Russia, 1895. They were lucky to get out, because we all know what happens after this. We'll start sautéing our liver, because we're going to make chopped liver. Though you can call it pâté, some people another one, oh, chopped liver. There is nothing finer than chopped liver on black bread, on matzah, on anything. Chopped liver is like liverwurst. Same thing, different, same thing. The same. So we've got some nice fresh liver in the chicken livers with a little beef liver. Never pork, remember. As much as we love pork, you never mix it. What kosher was originally designed for, and of course this is where dogma becomes religion. You bled the meat out. The reason when meat is cut kosher, the reason is that they cut the throat because it would bleed out quicker. And that way, because there was no refrigeration and the meat stayed fresher than killing an animal and letting the meat clot. This is chicken broth. We're just going to saute these. We're going to poach them, actually. We're just going to start those and just poach them. While we're mixing up our matzah meal here. Okay. So, we just keep mixing this until it dissolves. Kind of already has that color that you would see. Some people, they can buy it in a roll and they throw it in, they boil it and then slice it. They're all different recipes. Dehydrated onion gives you a different flavor than regular onion. Sometimes dehydrated, it's stronger. It gives it a more, it gives it a stronger flavor. Passover, of course, as you know, is the story of the Jews leaving Egypt. And I just got back from Egypt last year, and it was the best trip I ever took. The Egyptians are lovely people. I hope they straighten things out over there. A little crazy right now, but It was the most amazing. It was the most amazing trip I ever had. And I've been all over. I mean, I used to go to Thailand, the Orient a lot, and Europe, and I loved Egypt. Egypt was what it was all about. I learned more in Egypt in 2 weeks about religion and men and society and civilization, and how fast and how easy it all just vanishes. The food, of course, was very typical here, you know, tabbouleh and couscous, and not as much lamb as I was hoping for. The Egyptians are not big on lamb. Beef and chicken. They like beef and chicken. No pork, of course. They're Muslim, just like the Jews. That carries over because they're both the same. Son of Ishmael, you know, brothers, you know, Abraham and Ishmael. So we've got this nicely mixed. It's going to stand for a little while we get this ready. We may have to add a little more matzo meal to thicken it up a little bit more, and we'll come back to it as we get our water up and boiling. But it's getting a really nice, it's starting to look really good. Add a little pepper. Mine's going to be a lot spicier than most, but you know what? My friends can handle it. Let's stir our livers. Stir our livers. We're just going to poach them ever so gently. We're getting our oil ready for our onions and celery. This is going to be our fish mix right there. Then we'll add celery to it. Now, a little bit about me. Like I said, I was a biker dude. I fabricated motorcycles. Everybody in the world's used my stuff. Jesse James, Orange County Choppers. I invent things and I make things. I made all my cutlery, my knives. This is an ulu I just made yesterday. This is a great chopper. I did all my prepping with this baby. I hardened it, I case hardened it. This is another ulu for chopping. These are wonderful. We sell these, you know, I do the Sawdust Festival, and on my website I make knives, I fabricate toy soldiers, and you'll get to see everything about me. If you're not aware of who I am, you will be when we're done here. Bubba Epstein, a.k.a. Dr. Neon. All right, so our liver is done. We don't want to overcook it. You don't want it to be rubber. We'll take that off the stove. We're going to let it sit. It smells delightful. Mixed it with garlic. All good. We're just going to let that cool down. All right, now I'm going to put this one on high, turn this one off. And I learned a little trick, so when you're spraying, you know, when you're making things, spray your hands with a little pan. You can just take it and it won't stick to your hands as much. So we're going to try one and see how it comes out. We'll drop it in. We'll try and put it into a ball. And we're experimenting. I've never made this before. This is the first time ever I've ever made this. So we're experimenting and we'll see. Me, I want to be an Epicurean. One who likes good food. I've eaten bugs. I mean, you know, I watch all those shows and, you know, I go, yeah, that's it. Nothing like a good cockroach. All right, I need to stir this. I need to wash my... Yeah. That's what we want. Let's turn it down a little. Does that smell wonderful or what? All right. So these guys, man, they're really blowing up. Look how big they're getting. And they have to boil. So cover them.